Your pets are dreaming, but what are they dreaming about? Specifically, your dogs. I know it's something I've always wondered, and now there might be some research to indicate exactly what goes on in those sleepy little dream times of theirs. So, one Harvard psychologist shed a little light on your dog's inner life, and it will crack your heart right open. And actually, Twitter has been abuzz responding to this news. According to Dr. Deirdre Barrett, a teacher and a clinical evolutionary psychologist at Harvard Medical soon, so she ain't no slouch. Dogs' dreams are every bit as sweet as you would have hoped, she says, quote, humans dream about the same things they're interested in by day, though more visually and less logically. There's no reason to think animals are any different. Since dogs are generally extremely attached to their human owners, it's likely your dog is dreaming of your face, your smell, and of pleasing or annoying you. And so then we're gonna throw up some tweets of just people responding to this news. It certainly made me emotional because I've always wondered what my dog dreams about. I got him when he was 7 years old, so I always assumed he was dreaming of past trauma in his life. But indeed, he's dreaming of my face maybe, which doesn't make a lot of sense because he sort of barks in his sleep and he doesn't bark in real life. So this definitely affected me, and I want to know what your response was, Hassan, because you also have a dog. You have a wonderful dog named Fish. Do you think that he's dreaming of you and hanging out with you?
Okay, first of all, I always thought he was just running up and down pastures.
That's what I thought.
And turns out, I'm at the end. I'm throwing the ball for him to run up back and forth.
That's so true.
And I don't know, I just so vividly saw a dream that he was dreaming of me, and he was just running around like, yeah, this is the greenest pasture we could have ever ran on. Mm-hmm. And like the smells are there, just so many smells, and he's just smelling everything. There's butts all around. And then I'm in the end of it, and he's like, yeah, Dad's here, like we're playing. You know, that's what I thought. But then again, who knows? Because at first I was like, oh, is this going to be like one of those studies that conclusively proves that dogs understand human language? For example, there was another medical study where they actually did a brain scan they put dogs in an MRI, which no organism should ever go through that. But anyway, in Hungary, and they actually figured out that it's not just commands and it's not just your emotions or you emoting something, but they genuinely understand different nuances within the language. Mm-hmm. So that was really interesting. This study, on the other hand, is more like we want to hope that they're dreaming of us, mm-hmm. kind of. I don't know where. It's not like it doesn't seem like they went into brain scans and looked at the visuals, like the things that pop up within a dog's brain when they think about their owners versus what happens when they're dreaming. And that's why I feel like this is a little wishy-washy. Not to,
Well, I think you bring up an interesting point because something I've sort of looked into recently is that we do not have a lot of research on our canine companions. Not a lot of clinical studies have been done, and I think that to an extent you can make an argument that we take advantage of how evolved and domestic dogs are, and we don't really try and push them to the limit and see what they really are capable of, what their brains are capable of. So when these studies come out, it's particularly interesting because we do all these studies on dolphins and on whales, and I'm not saying that that's bad at all, but
John Lilly, look that up. If you don't know what that is, look that up. John Lilly, a dolphin loved me. Sorry.
Okay. But I do think that there's something to be said for doing a little bit more research into dogs because they have evolved with us more than any other species on the planet. They've grown with us. They've changed how their pack mentality works sometimes.
I could talk about the historical references like that are canine companions, like you said, and a lot of people argue with me on this, and I don't know why, but they have evolved from wolves. Now, my understanding is that like thousands and thousands of years ago, we had the Homo sapiens that were evolving, we had Neanderthals, and then we had wolves. Those were the three dominant organisms living in the continent of Europe. And my understanding is, or at least some historical theorists or anthropologists point to the fact that humans, like the humanoids, Homo sapiens, started to train wolves and started to live with them and domesticate them. And that's how we wiped out the Neanderthals in the continent of Europe, at least. So that's a really interesting theory, but it also plays along with the fact that dogs are way more domesticated than any other animal, and they have so many different breeds that can actually breed with one another. Mm-hmm. And that means that they come from the same species, which is a wolf. How crazy is it, though, that hundreds of thousands of years of genetic manipulation can create the difference between a wolf and a French bulldog?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think that that's part of the reason why I want to see more research into dogs and into how their brains work and into what they understand, because I really feel like we've only scratched the surface. But I think talking about what they dream about is a good place to start. And I hope my dog is sleeping at home now, dreaming of hanging out with me. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But we want to hear from you in the comments section below. Do you have a dog? What do you think they dream about? What do you like to do with your dog? Do you feel like we've only scratched the surface with regards to researching our canine companions? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.